They take game one above SoaR. We'll see what happens as we head into game number 2 with the picks and bans. I expect SoaR to change some things up. Like I said, Homiefe, arguably the best jungler in the world. Give him a tool. It almost makes me angry to see it. I feel like his skill is wasted on a character like Odin.
Well, this time around, SoaR having the first ban, they're just... I would like for them to elect and take away that Batz pick, or even the Bologna ban might be justified at this point in time. Benji has just had way too much of a showing on the Bologna already, just entirely too dominant. And on top of that, you just never want to really deal with the bots.
You ban the Bologna, he plays Osiris or Amaterasu or any other bully god. I think we're going to see the same stuff.
I actually want to go back to what F-Dot said on getting Homie a carry jungle. I think I'd be more focused on that just because a lot of the carry jungles in the game right now, they're good at stopping solo lanes. If you get to stop Benji, it's like killing 2 birds with 1 rock. You get to stop Benji, you get a Homie on a carry.
That's exactly, that is what SoaR need to do to stretch this one out to game 3. Panda was too nuts on the Scotty. I think that was every armchair coach at home was screaming at their computer, why are you gonna let PandaCat play Scotty? Not only is she a great pick right now, obviously, but it's a character that just befits what PandaCat wants to do all the time.
Yeah, we would never let that kid touch Scotty.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah,
He's terrifying.
It's so much disorientation with the permafrost, especially. Anytime that Vetium went up into the air with the Realm ultimate, there was a permafrost waiting for him right at the bottom. And when you're slipping and sliding all over the place, not to mention getting face tanked by a Bologna for any amount of damage you're trying to output and actually dying because of it, it's just not a whole lot of fun all around.
And Panda, I need to mention here on the dev, EUnited is a different team in person. At LAN, we always talk about, teams being louder or whatnot. EUnited is one of the loudest, and it's not all about getting in the opponent's head, although that's certainly part of it. That's just who they are. PandaCat is going to play Scotty and bark at you like a dog, because that's just who Panda does. He's going to RP his way through the match, and it's all for him. When he used to play Jingwei, he used to say, I'm a bird, and fly back to lane, having a ball, and the other team like, what are you doing? And then he gets the triple kill, and he laughs his way to the bank. So this is a team that you have to be careful of on LAN. You can't let these players have what they want. Scotty, banned because of it. Next to him, Sylvanas Cabrakan, also going to be banned. Welcome back to North America. Cabrakan is worth a ban. And one last ban coming out for EUnited.
And for that, I'd imagine EUnited didn't really seem like they encountered any massive difficulties against SoaR Gaming. They kind of, even when they fell behind, they still had a lot of control over the situation and over the pacing of the game. So much so that SoaR just found it. I think that SoaR just got too wrapped up in their own mind games of wanting to try and get into the head of EUnited that it actually backfired onto themselves.
And that again goes back to, I got a point to General Pain. I mentioned it with specifically talking about Benji, how Pain was able to really rope that player in. Varizial kind of falls into that same category where these are 2 great players that need that sort of leadership. But Pain is also going to, as across the whole team, say like, look, you know what? You want to taunt? We can taunt him a couple of times, but let's get the W first. That's what they're looking for. We can mess around with them, but he knows when to sort of just shut it down and make it about the game itself. And that's what I think EUnited really succeeded for, balancing those 2 things.
EUnited kind of had an extra ban there, and I actually really like the Fafnir for 2 reasons. First of all, Fafnir is just a really good god right now, but second of all, Jigz is one of his best gods, is probably Fafnir.
Fafnir is very mechanically demanding with the stun from the hammer axe, and that's what Jigz does. So absolutely want to take that away. Terra will be selected for SoaR Gaming. fineokay likes that character. We'll see if it works in the solo lane or the support. But Ho-Yi will be the hunter of choice for PandaCat, and Varizial repeats himself playing Batz.
And if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's exactly what he encountered with the bots. You might as well try and run it back if they're going to leave it open. I do really like the Cupid pick, though, on the side of SoaR Gaming, because that cripple in the Fields of Love is going to be so crucial for trying to help SoaR find the upper hand against EUnited in team fights.
Andy's Scylla. You were mentioning how Andy has a deeper god pool than most think. Ra is definitely, I think, the top of that mountain, but Scylla is also very strong choice for Andinster, and that's That's the character I was talking about. They didn't even ban it, just looking for a different flavor. When it comes down to what Benji did last game, it wasn't God specific. He can be that deep diving bully on Osiris, on Bologna, on Amaterasu. I can pull out 3-4 more gods that Benji's gonna do the same damn thing on. So he brings out the broken god. This might even be better than his Bologna in my eyes.
Benji actually does this very well. Is a lot of people actually use the tether for a stun. He somehow always manages to get 5-man tethers in the middle of a team fight and just be like, wait, why am I not doing any damage? It's like, oh, yeah. Everyone's tethered.
His positioning and his ability to see the battlefield in a very unique way. He's able to sort of zoom out, you know, and like an out-of-body experience and really see the whole battlefield as everything is concerned. And SoaR Gaming did their homework, banning out the Agni from Khaos.
Turns out Khaos likes Agni.
Yes, Khaos loves his Agni, just like he loves his Zhang Kui. But he played that last time. I don't,
The Herc ban's not too surprising either after the showing fineokay had yesterday.
Yeah, 13-0. I don't want to see it.
It's pretty good.
I just don't want to see it.
That's completely reasonable, but that's still a very scary composition coming out for EUnited already, and it's just the comfortability on all three of those gods for each of those members as well. PandaCat on Hu Yi, he's had excellent displaying on that. Zhang Kui ban, though, that's really interesting that they would opt to take that away, considering I don't think that Zhang Kui was necessarily the problem for SoaR. Maybe they just don't want to deal with what Zhang Kui can provide in a team aesthetic.
I pretty much agree the same thing. It's like you have a Scylla, you want to let her free farm. You don't really want to give Zhang a free laning phase. It's just doesn't usually end well.
And, you know, not to mention the fact that with as many slows that Osiris has, that enables Zhang Kui to be a little bit more powerful than he is by his lonesome. But this is the power of being a guy with an eclectic god pool like Khaos. The second round of bans was used on an Agni and a Zhang Kui. Now you can pick whatever strong god you actually want to play. I mean, that's always a win when you can force the opponent to ban stuff that quote-unquote shouldn't be banned. I think that that's one of the powerful things that EUnited bring. Because of that, you're going to see the Amaterasu come out, and that'll likely be in the hands of PainDeViande.
I can't imagine that it would be Osiris support, so Pain on Amaterasu would be pretty fun. Okay, you're giving me that look, and I know you think that it'd be hilarious, and sure, I could see the general trying to whip it out, but
my thing is that Benji's best god is Amaterasu. He can play Amaterasu twice as well as he played Bologna last game. Osiris support is not something I'm taking to the bank, but I would love to see the young man on Amaterasu. Not likely to be the case. Nike will be across the lane from Amy. Awilix, the jungler of choice, and Vulcan will round things out for the mid lane on EUnited. I gotta say right now, SoaR Gaming's draft is very strong. I think that Homiefe is going to be a very, very good Awilix, and this one might go the way of SoaR.
I actually like EUnited's draft more, and it kind of reminds me of something I believe Batz used to do against Raijin. When Raijin would ult, he would be really immobile, and Batz would just snipe him. In this case, Scylla's going to be ulted, pretty much be snared, and you're just going to toss a Vulcan out on top of her.
We'll see if that one is going to be the way that this one goes. Game number 2, EUnited up 1-0. It's Aggro and Hindu with the call.
SoaR have no more chances left to actually make it to be the victors if they lose a single game. Last chance saloon on Sunday.
Now the loser of this set does go on, but energy is waiting for you, and they're going to be angry, and I don't know if you want to mess with that. Probably better to punch your ticket to Masters with this set here.
I don't know, I think SoaR are pretty angry after how that last performance went for him in the last game. EUnited's draft, we saw Skidon say that he feels it's that way, F-Dot thinks it's SoaR's way. Awilix comes to mind a little bit when you look at EUnited's comp. He's going to have trouble, Batz is going to have a bit of trouble there as well, and fantastic mobility around the jungle, as well as you add in a Nike and a Terra to that fact. Awilix is an important pick for me.
Yeah, I like the Nike Awilix synergy there, but the one thing I'm worried about is there's not a whole lot of guaranteed setup for Andinster on the Scylla.
True.
Terra has that root, but has to be right in the thick of things. It's not as easy as, say, an Athena taunt or something like that, where you can really get multiple members grouped up for Andinster on these AoE skills.
One thing I do like is that Benji's just gone to something that's very frontline once again. It can just do the same work he did on that Bologna a different way around. Didn't go for the Bologna this time. He could have gone for it, but he preferred the Osiris here.
I mean, Osiris has been... What Bologna's done here at LAN, Osiris did online, and that was just bully you out, look unkillable, really, really strong pick either way. I was surprised that he didn't go for Bologna, but I don't mind this Osiris pick one bit.
I will say, Aggro, though, the teamfight ultimates here, they're huge AoE circles for both teams here that are going to really make an impact in these engagements. People are going to disappear if they all get connected at the same time.
I love this Cupid pick for Vetium in particular. fineokay taking more damage than he is really given there to Benji until Homiefe comes up.
Benji's really low. At the same time as Homiefe, the minions come into play though, so both have to back away. fineokay eats a lot of archer damage there as well. Wouldn't have liked that, but the Vanguard plus the potions will keep him steady. Homie's the one that's going to be more careful though now, which has allowed EUnited to get pressure. Meanwhile, mid lane pressure went the way of EUnited. They're also going to swing around to the left, but SoaR following suit.
The difference here in the solo lane is while both Osiris and Nike have those cleave auto attacks, only Benji went for the Death Toll. fineokay went for the more defensive mark of the Vanguard, so he's not going to get healed up just by auto attacking the wave like Benji will.
Right hand side, EUnited are going aggressive again. They steal the speed, and Homiefe still level 1. Beats early, trying to avoid the slows. Still not going to stop Varizial getting first blood for a second game.
And this is the worst case scenario right now. Awilix from behind is difficult to really be effective on. When teams are running at you as Awilix, you're basically useless. You need to have their backs turned to really be effective.
3 buffs stolen by EUnited now. Speed, blue, and the red from SoaR's jungle. The mid lane composition of Andinster and Jigz have to weather the storm here and try and push out. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, fineokay was trying to contest those elementals. He's been pushed back as well. I don't even know how duo lane's going yet because the hunters are still going at it. It should be a Cupid lane, if anything, due to the boxing potential.
Oh, Vetium dashes in, and there's still a lot of minions there, but PandaCat doesn't have that mark of the Golden Crow yet to guarantee that stun. Looks like he put 2 points into the ricochet, so Vetium knew that, I'm supposing, because that was a risky play there.
It was risky, but it also did stop PandaCat going in the jungle to steal away that purple buff, which would have been the entire jungle. It allows Homiefe to get a bit more farm that is so important for him still being only level 2.
Now we're only seeing Homiefe for the first time here in the duo lane, but in my mind it should not be the last. This is a great opportunity for Homiefe to pull PandaCat back in off of that gravity surge and really get Vetium a lead.
Well, he's got to get 5, first of all. That's the main thing right now, and I think that's the only reason we really see him in this duo lane as it stands. And meanwhile, in mid lane, SoaR still hold the pressure there for the moment, as we did see Khaos return back to base just to get a couple more potions. Sorry, he didn't return back to base. My bad, he went for back harpies.
And Khaos has a couple buffs to take on that left-hand side still. The red buff and the purple buff for EUnited still standing. So while their gold lead is right above 1,000 right now, it's going to only get bigger after these 2 buffs go down.
Oracles for EUnited are available now. Homiefe is going to swing around and find this out just a little bit too late. Not only level 3, there's not a whole lot he can do about that. EUnited are now in a comfortable control of this game. SoaR have to just sit back and farm for now.
Now there is some good late game potential on SoaR. Terra in the late game becomes a monster. That Nike passive going to help augment the damage out of everyone on SoaR. But Cupid really comes online in the mid game. The early game is where Awilix is supposed to shine, and as you mentioned, Homiefe down pretty significantly right now to Varizial.
Andinster, level 4 right now on the Scylla. Should be hitting level 5 relatively soon, as you can see there with those back harpies going down. Love the fact that he waited for Homiefe just to help Homie catch up again. Homie's on the trail of Varizial, who has that Fear No Evil and was not scared to use it at all last game.
Luckily for Homiefe, that his purification beads are almost up. Remember, he used those on the right-hand side right before he got first blooded, so that Fear No Evil isn't going to be an instant death.
Speaking of Varizial, Talaria boots picked up from him. He's gone for the extra mobility with the speed buff, maybe trying to answer back some of the speed that SoaR are going to have in this game with Nike, with Jigz and that Wrath of Terra. Got to be careful.
Could be, but it's also there to boost his gold gain in terms of whenever he hits everyone from his abilities. And it could have been that he just had enough gold to finish off Talaria and he wanted to be here for the speed buff invade. Sometimes it's better to adjust your build on the fly to just try and get on the right spot of the map.
Speed buff stolen away again by EUnited. Blue buff will be the next thing on the cards for them, but SoaR have cleared out the minions from under the tower and are rotating round to help out fineokay in the blue, but they will meet Benji and Varizial, who are waiting here to contest.
fineokay still a little bit behind Benji in terms of health and XP. There's the bounce, monkey bounce onto Andinster.
Watch out for
and
Khaos'
Jigz.
ult. Khaos on the Vulcan is on the back line here. He's going to look towards Andinster. The backfire didn't hit.
Uh-oh.
Scylla use of the Sentinel was not very good there at all, but he will escape with the barest amount of health. Pulled back into the tower of a monster. Andinster connects. PainDeViande is dead.
1 for 1 now. fineokay comes right back around the corner, trying to put some more pressure onto Benji and Varizial, but can't quite do so yet. Benji and Varizial both so healthy still.
Not looked at the Hunters yet, but both their ultimates are on cooldown right now as they've been trading out on this left-hand side. But Vetium, with the sustain of those hearts, will be able to weather the storm.
Not only that, but PandaCat had to use his purification beads in order to get out of the fields of love. Vetium did not, so that's a win for Vetium. You know that he's either going to ult PandaCat on cooldown or Homiefe is going to make it show his face over there.
Just so close to picking up Andinster there. You saw PainDeViande's ultimate coming out from the Amaterasu. Just one more hit of that. The first one connected, just the second or the third, and Andinster would have been back in base.
Yeah, really unfortunate Sentinel placement, as you called out, but using that movement speed from I'm a Monster and the CC immunity to just charge right through that Fear No Evil that Varizial had dropped. I can't believe it lasted that long. It was a beautiful knock-up and pull-in from Homiefe. Pain might have died anyways, but that I'm a Monster just guaranteeing it and getting Andinster some much-needed farm.
Even though Andinster did manage to pick up that kill, which is important for SoaR, EUnited did continue to pressure onto the buffs one more time of SoaR. Granted, fineokay picked up the blue buff, but the speed was stripped away by EUnited that time round.
It's still a little bit behind for Homiefe because of that, and fineokay. It's just Benji and Varizial continuing to put pressure on that right-hand side of the map. So this is a good opportunity for SoaR to get something on the left. No invades on the left side buffs as EUnited secures their red. But you see Pain hanging out on this left side. That's because PandaCat's purification beads are still down for 25 seconds.
And Vetium's ultimate is available. Varizial in mid lane, though, looks for the damage onto Andinster. Monkey Toss connects. Won't jump to the monkey just yet, though. Fear No Evil was available if he wanted to use it, but beads were also up. As on left, we've got a fight.
Pressure onto Vetium, but there's the Fields of Love. PandaCat gonna get Mez down, take a lot of damage from Homiefe, but the Suns were good enough to keep Homie from chasing him down.
Helped him out enough. If Homie was a level ahead, further ahead, he may have had the damage to really bring down PandaCat there as well. But the timing of that rotation from SoaR was incredibly important. Vetium got away with his life because the Suns had to be used defensively.
Very, very lucky there for PandaCat. Also the fact that he used his jump aggressively just before Homiefe was in range to pull him in with that gravity surge.
Speed buff respawns for SoaR, and EUnited are already in position to strip it away again. Getting Khaos to level 9 now on this Vulcan. Varizial takes a lot of damage there from Jigz as Andinster joined the fray, but they will be able to fall back relatively safely here. But Homiefe is a little bit far forward, and now he's trapped.
Pain knows exactly where he is. The silence coming out of that dash is going to keep Homiefe in place almost long enough for Khaos to follow up with the bomb there, but not quite in time.
You saw Benji and fineokay both considering a rotation towards mid there, meeting each other and back to whacking away on each other as well. fineokay working towards more than likely a breastplate of valor again here to answer what Benji's going to be swinging at his face time and time again.
And this is problematic for fineokay at this stage in the game, but as he gets a couple more levels, maxes out that Rend, which should be maxed by now, and starts putting some more points into plan of action. That's where Nike starts to get her real sustain just by getting a lot of HP 5 from that second ability.
And the Elemental's going to go to Benji as well. Just continuing to extend the small lead he's got over fineokay right now. That doesn't take long, though, for those solo lanes to extend that to 2 levels if things continue in the same path.
And Homiefe hasn't gotten a speed buff yet, so you know that Benji is going to continue to keep that up as long as Varizial and Khaos are there to help him invade on that right side.
It's also a bluff option for EUnited on the next speed buff as well. It is the sort of time when you can start seeing Gold Furies come out from teams. And if SoaR invests too much on looking to defend the next speed that respawns, EUnited could quickly go for the Gold Fury.
Fear No Evil onto Varizial. He beads it, jumps away. Stun not going to hit there from Jigz, who's forced into that Terra's Blessing. Homiefe jumping forward, but can't quite find the damage.
Not sure exactly what went down there. Overall, it was Varizial that engaged, SoaR looked to disengage and maybe continue. At least that's what Jigz wanted with that Wrath of Terror. EUnited don't realize that after the Fear No Evil was on cooldown, it wasn't the greatest fight to take. They'll just walk away.
No, but they do trade out just Jigz' ultimate for both Varizial and PainDeViande's ult. Andinster had to use his beads, but Varizial did as well, so not horrible there for SoaR.
9 minutes in, the first Laurel you heard in the background popping and available now for SoaR as Nike hits the first part of her passive. This mobility will increase as time goes on. It's a small boon on the side of SoaR fans.
And that's the amount of minions that the entire team has to kill. That one's all complete. Now SoaR needs to get 10 kills
Yeah,
as
that's
a
the
team.
easy one, right?
Yeah, the easy one, exactly. And have 2 members hit level 20.
Gold Fury started up. Suns a drop. Full commit from EUnited here. Looking to steal this one away is SoaR. SoaR will steal it away as Andinster picks up Varizial. The Iron Monster hit. Next on the list is Khaos. Boom!
Oh,
Goes to Dynamite. PandaCat looked at. Pain looked at. Round the back comes Benji. The man who will not be named, maybe looking for Andinster right now. Won't find it. Andy zones him away. PandaCat back to the tier 2. EUnited make a mistake. And SoaR get a small win.
Knock up, pull back onto Pain. There's the Feather Step waiting for him, but the Dazzling Offense comes up just in time to give Pain that CC immunity. Homiefe in some trouble, but that Fields of Love forces Panda's beads and jump.
Great beads from PandaCat though, just to react to it and do that immediately before he gets under pressure. 3-1 in favor of SoaR in kills. Gold is even. Experience, though, is still a telling marker in this game. You can see how much gold and experience they got from that one fight. And it closes the gap, but it's still not enough.
Significantly closing the gap. And Andinster just comes up huge there. Gold Fury stolen. I'm not sure who got that for SoaR, but I know Andy got 2 resets on that I'm a Monster. We talk so much about his Raw, and deservedly so. It's out of this world. But his Scylla is on a similar level. Really, really strong play coming out of the new mid laner.
And at level 11 right now, he would like to get to level 12, and I think that's one of the reasons he's staying, just to get that secondary relic online. The Helm should be following that up for a little bit more protections to deal with Benji, to deal with PandaCat, to deal with Varizial.
And not only that, but it's a cheap item that gives him some power, and of course that penetration that's so important. Easy, cheap penetration is exactly what you're looking for in the mid lane.
Vetium and PandaCat both equal level still in this lane. It is a reason Cupid has been drafted to specifically deal with Ho-Yi in lane. The boxing potential from the two is fantastic, but the cripples is what's key, and that's why Cupid is here.
But Vetium's gone for a less power-oriented build, more looking towards the late game with these Devourer's gauntlets. Not gonna have that Transcendence power. PandaCat jumps, and Homiefe can't pull him because he's on Suku.
Couldn't get off Suku in time to get away there. The beads are still on cooldown from PandaCat, remember that. With Gold Fury being down though, EUnited are focusing their pressure towards the mid lane. Blue buff on the right-hand side being looked at by Benji to strip that away from fineokay one more time.
And this is what you expect for this Osiris. Benji has not had as much of an impact quite yet in this game, but
his damage says otherwise.
Exactly,
though.
He's still top damage, but it's really mostly been on a fineokay instead of making the rotations and putting it onto Andinster and Vetium and guys like that.
SoaR really starting to invest a little bit more into this duo lane now. You ask for Homiefe to be over here a little bit more often, and he is. The problem, however, is that he's level 9 right now, whereas Varizial has a 2-level lead at being 11.
Homie's had a tough time farming in both of these games thus far, and it's while it was bad on the Odin, so you don't get your damage off, but like you mentioned, he's still just there to be a facilitator. He really needs the damage to come through on this Awilix, and he's second in the game, first on his team, certainly doing that job, but as you mentioned earlier on in the gank on the left side, maybe if he had another level or two, he's got enough damage to bring down PandaCat. Little unfortunate, but certainly he's making an impact in this game.
This game is supposed to be a frontline threat on this Awilix as well, because you've got fineokay and Jigz, which are all the setup CC and body blocks and damage soaks that you want, whereas the actual melee damage dealer in Homiefe, he needs to get in there and do a lot of damage, but if he's behind in levels, he won't do much, and he won't live long enough either.
Just so unfortunate that they didn't find that kill onto PandaCat on that left side. That was a guaranteed death onto Panda. 10 times out of 10, as long as Homiefe can get in position in time. Just a little bit too early, I think, on the dash forward from Vetium, which really signaled to PandaCat that he was in trouble.
I think it's even more so on PandaCat's reaction time more than anything else to realize he was in danger, because Ho-Yi's leap is not the fastest thing in the world. Talking about leaps, Varizial goes in on Jigz there, but no fair, no evil used. They're surrounding Jigz, though, as fineokay now comes in, and Jigz is a bit awkward. Holds his dash well, though, to escape, and it's actually fineokay who's in a bit more trouble.
Look at how much damage fineokay took. Nice knock up there from Homiefe onto Varizial, forces his purification beads, but he jumps over and uses that Fear No Evil.
Speed buff goes down, Varizial picks that one up as still the collapse is on. A lot of pressure onto fineokay, who uses the shield and disengage, but round the back wraps SoaR.
Khaos is in a ton of trouble right now. Andy trying to chase him down. I'm a monster over the wall! Cleans up Khaos! Looking for one more. Varizial 1 HP, but he jumps out.
He'll leap out of the way. Meanwhile, on the backside, PandaCat comes round, drops the Suns, looks to pick up the kill. Vetium will get credit for that. Sorry, Vetium will fall down to Benji as that happens. Homiefe picks up Pain as Benji surrounded by 4, looking to get back to the tier 1. Won't get away. No need for to escape that. And PandaCat's on the run now from the rest of SoaR.
Homiefe's right here. There's the Feather Step. No, he holds it actually lead. Both relics now down for PandaCat. No jump, no way for him to escape. PandaCat's gonna fall. A delayed deicide there for SoaR as they take their 7th kill.
It's not the worst case scenario for EUnited to see PandaCat takes so much time on dying there. Yes, he used both relics, but he bought enough time that SoaR can't get too many objectives off the back of that amazing successful win.
Really, really strong team fight there from SoaR, and it was about Homiefe baiting out that purification beads from Varizial early on through the wall with the knockup. Benji did a good job of cleaning up Vetium with PandaCat's help on the rotation, but despite that, it was just about that reset from Andinster putting pressure onto EUnited. Khaos fell too low too quickly, and fineokay started off that entire engagement with a beautiful Sentinel of Zeus that slowed everyone down and allowed Jigz to find a multi-man stun.
We've seen enough of Andinster on Ra to recognize how good he can be on Ra, and now I think is the time to add Scylla to that list now.
Yeah.
This game has been fantastic for him. One small mistake of that Sentinel was corrected earlier on that turned into a kill for him as he did escape that one. The boy who lived is real right now. 1,000 gold lead, however, for SoaR.
He's been absolutely killing it on this Scylla without a doubt. He's right next to Homiefe in terms of damage, and this is not where you expect Scylla to be this early on.
Jigz in a bit of trouble on the front side here. Looking to keep going aggressive for the time being, keeping them busy. Jigz holding on to this is actually allowing fineokay to make a good rotation. Varizial's dead. He used a Fear No Evil too. fineokay will clean him up coming round the back.
Just that damage that's unmissable, that Sentinel of Zeus. If you're around Nike, you're going to get hit by it.
2 more kills, and we will see SoaR get their second laurel as well, so extra movement speed for the whole team. One of the reasons Nike was so prioritized for such a long period of time with that extra mobility. Benji around the back, though, looks straight towards Andinster, and Benji's getting forced out by fineokay and Vetium too. I'm a monster hits into the Order of the Afterlife, gets him away, but fineokay's there with Homiefe to close the gap, and before you blink, Khaos has joined him in the fountain.
Everyone just went for Benji, and they found Khaos right next to him. The 2-man knockup there from fineokay, and again, it's just Andinster doing so much damage on this Scylla. Benji does not have the lead that he did in game 1. Can't just face tank Andinster's damage all day.
So what exactly went wrong for EUnited? Because they had lane pressure, they had controlled the right-hand jungle again, keeping SoaR at bay. Homiefe was out of this game at one point, but now it's all SoaR. Is this just all Andinster?
I mean, for the most part, yes. It was the Gold Fury steal and the double kill for Andinster that really got him in position to start to carry this game.
Homiefe trying to stop PandaCat and PainDeViande with fineokay coming round the back now, and sorry, Andinster chasing round, and he's looking for the Sycam if he can find it. Pain pops heal early, but this can be turned round now because Andy waited perfectly, pulled back in, Pain falls down as well. Varizial on the right will get a tier 1 tower, but Vetium's already there to defend the tier 2.
You're okay with losing 500 gold right now
You're
as
fine.
SoaR. You just want to continue to farm it up. Either way, Vetium is going to defend that tier 2, like you mentioned, and secure Homiefe's speed buff. And that's the other big thing that went wrong for EUnited is whenever losing the Gold Fury and the double kill to Andy was bad, but then that forced engagement on the speed buff that SoaR took that delayed deicide all the way up that right-hand side, that's where their control really left the hands.
No jungle buffs available for anyone to really look at engaging and fighting over right now. Fire Giant is available at 17 minutes in. SoaR are in a position where they could take the Fire Giant, but it's still too early with everybody available on the map for EUnited to even look at that, especially when Khaos has the ultimate. But Khaos is a bit far forward there.
Once again, he has both his relics here. There's the Aegis to immune out that feather step damage. I'm a monster on the way, but Andinster not going to be able to catch up to him. A wasted ultimate there out of Andy.
Those pings came out very, very quickly from both teams to the right-hand side where Benji was there, and they were SoaR pings just saying, oh, never mind, he's on the right-hand side, we don't have to worry. I think they were a bit concerned that Benji was missing, and he wasn't. He was still in the wave. That's why we didn't see that further engage.
Khaos has had a tough time this game, 0-3-1. He also had a tough time in game 1. It was just that Benji and Varizial were so far ahead it didn't matter.
Varizial's trapped in the jungle there for a moment, but luckily enough, the pressure's relieved as EUnited turn up. Benji walks forward again, but with only castles, he can still take a lot of damage. Homiefe, though's caught out of position. Luckily, he's got mobility to get away.
And that heal coming off the Terra's blessing, so important. Now healing up courtesy of Vetium's hearts. fineokay and Andinster continue to push forward into EUnited's jungle.
pressure from SoaR in the mid lane again, looking to potentially for the tier 2 tower. Khaos has his ultimate, as does Benji for the defense, and SoaR think better of trying to siege down the tier 2. Instead, they'll swing to the right, they'll find a blue buff that they'll have to take relatively quickly if EUnited recognize this is going on.
But PainDeViande's in base, PandaCat still underneath the tier 2 tower in mid. Not too much pressure being exerted by EUnited. Can't say the same about SoaR, who's continuing to use their ultimates aggressively. We saw Vetium throw that Fields of Love up over that mid-camp wall just to get the purification beads out from Varizial.
Not gonna lie though, EUnited are really showing a lot of experience here to be not that far behind in gold. From an 11-2 kill lead, that gold gap isn't that big.
Oh, PandaCat in a lot of trouble, and he chases him over the wall. There's a Sikkim crush, a little bit off the mark to zone PandaCat back
That was
towards
right.
the team.
Yeah, you save Andinster there. Yeah, it was a zoning crush just in case.
I throw those all the time. Zoning crushes are really underrated.
That work because they slow as well. A lot of
That's
people always
true.
forget
Yeah, how are
much
you going to
they
get
slow.
past that? You can't.
Winged Blade. There you go.
But then you get your protection stripped.
That's also true. Portal Demon has spawned again for SoaR. One member down is EUnited here, so they may not even look to contest. They're willing to surrender the Portal Demon over to SoaR again. Gotta be careful though, because the Fire Giant could be next in the cards if nobody responds soon. That's why Jigz was like, hey guys, no one's here. Why don't we just start fire?
fineokay is going to back though, but he'll have that portal to come right back through. Vetium's on the front side. Khaos is in a lot of trouble. The blanket from Homiefe, and Vetium cleans up Khaos, no problem.
And now it's just Benji here alone for the time being, because still Varizial is trying to rotate round, as is PandaCat, sorry, not a PandaCat, I should say PainDeViande, to try and support. They won't get the Fire Giant SoaR, but they'll be happy with a Portal Demon and a free pick on Khaos yet again.
Khaos, and this is the problem with Vulcan, is that his early game is so weak. His late game damage could almost rival that of Scylla, but Andinster is Scylla and has a lead. Really, really difficult for Vulcan to keep himself alive once he falls behind.
You mentioned rival there. Well, one of these two teams will have to face rival in the finals if they can get there today. EUnited need one more win to get there, but they're up against SoaR right now. PainDeViande's forced out with the ultimate. Cupid Heart Bomb comes through, but it's not enough to kill him. Sun's rained down from PandaCat, but this is all defensive work from EUnited.
Homiefe up over the wall, looking for Varizial. Lots of damage onto the jungler. The knockup is good, and Homie finds the solo kill on Varizial.
Meanwhile, Benji's still going to fall on the right. The Thorns won't save you now. 15-2. SoaR back towards the Fire Giant, but they will take a cheeky speed buff on the way.
Homiefe has just had such a big turnaround in this game. Game 1, falls behind early, is not able to recover. Despite having a lot of kills in that game, just had a lot of deaths as well. Takes the early first blood, and since then, he's 5-0-7. Just unbelievable play out of him.
Just focus on farming more often than not. He did try to put some pressure onto the left-hand side, onto PandaCat, to allow Vetium to continue to farm up. And Vetium now finds himself with 3-level advantage over his enemy hunter.
I thought that EUnited was going to do the Gold Fury while SoaR cleaned up Fire Giant, but Homiefe also had that same thought and goes over to check it. EUnited not on the objective, which means that SoaR is going to be able to push this gold lead even higher.
Just look at those heals coming out from Share the Love from Vetium. So many people underrate Cupid's healing coming out. I saw he needs to be a healer. I'm not joking. I am. Don't worry, because people get upset if that happened to them. It's rough. Gold Fury goes to SoaR, though. The gold lead now up just under 10,000, and we mentioned that in game 1 when it hit 10k. It's the same story here.
And there's a lot of towers left standing though for EUnited, so this just means that SoaR has got a lot of gold waiting to be taken. No way EUnited can contest on either of the tier 1s in the side lanes. They could potentially take a fight at a tier 2, but with how far ahead SoaR is, it's going to be difficult to really defend it without your Phoenix helping you out.
Homiefe is top player damage. I mean, last game was all Varizial and Benji from EUnited, and Homiefe fell behind at the start, but he still got to the top, and Andinster is definitely an insurmountable player in this one. Vetium looking at the red, though.
Trying to get it. There's the Fields of Love, forcing Pain's ultimate and getting the red buff. Smart play there out of Vetium. PandaCat was able to just walk out of that ultimate, luckily, but Pain decides to use his ultimate instead of the sprint in that scenario, and that's a smart play because Pain doesn't have a lot of CDR yet, but does have that ultimate is just on a low cooldown anyways.
Without even minions there, that tower won't take too long, with the Fire Giant buff giving you increased tower damage as well. The tier 1 is shredded. EUnited, though, are in position to defend the tier 2. fineokay's on the right-hand side of the map, though, and SoaR might just wait here patiently and allow fineokay to take a free tier 2.
There's no reason to take this 4v5 fight right now. Homiefe actually uses his beads early on on there I think by accident, was looking for the blink, I do believe. Varizial in a lot of trouble. There's the pull back over the wall. Beads is way too late, and Vetium's able to kill him.
And now EUnited trying to close, but Pain's already dead too. Homie gets him. fineokay takes a tier 2 tower. Right-hand side, and still the pressure going on from Homiefe as he looks towards Khaos. Aegis is down. PandaCat stood in place, knowing that he's going to get dropped as well. Vetium picks up that kill. And now on the backside, you can see fineokay is going for a Phoenix.
Benji, the only one left alive. What was a 5v4 in EUnited's favor is all of a sudden a 4v1. Benji's got to go back to base and heal up. As you mentioned, fineokay spent this entire time on the right-hand side. SoaR just played that so well. Actually, EUnited played that poorly in my mind because they have the man advantage and they don't play around it. They instead try to take a 1v1 fight in the jungle with Varizial and Homiefe, and Homiefe, with the help of Vetium, just destroys Varizial before Fear No Evil even goes off.
Put a fork in it. This game is done. We are going to a game 3. Just like the last set that we saw in Europe, SoaR and EUnited are unstoppable at the moment. Neither team really has an advantage going to the last one. The only small window that we will see going to this last game is that SoaR have momentum from winning this one.
And the picks and bans definitely are going to favor SoaR in my mind because you have to try and ban out Andinster on the Scylla. That opens up a potential pick for them early on in the draft. Maybe Cabrakan could stay open for someone like Homiefe. And we haven't even seen Andy on the Raw that he's become so famous for early on in his mid-career.
This was just so well played from SoaR from the get-go. Realistically, EUnited had the better early game. They had the wave pressure. They managed to secure a lot of buffs in the jungle and continue what they did in game 1. The difference is SoaR's composition and their play worked around that issue and turned it on its head, and now have EUnited on their last chance of defense.
Really, really impressive. Ever since that first blood, SoaR has died one time, and it was in a delayed deicide where they wiped 4 or 5 members of EUnited in exchange for Vetium alone. Really, really strong play out of them. Jigz has had a really solid game on this Terra. The Terra's blessing timing has been solid. The CC and setup and peel has been really good as well. And we've already talked up a storm about Homiefe and Andinster.
Just want to remind everyone watching at home right now, do not forget that the top 2 teams out of EU and NA, who are the winners of the spring split and already going to Masters, are not even involved in this tournament. Yet all these teams are playing at such a high level now. The competition is so fierce in Season 4.
I can't wait for Masters. If those games are anything like what we've seen here so far this weekend, we are in for another great event.
And who knows what the future holds in terms of picks and bans in that meta as well, as Patchy has always come out, and as he continues going on, things change every single week.
All 3 Phoenixes down now. SoaR just making sure fire minions are going to flood into this Titan room. Look at that crush out of Andinster.
It's just waiting for fire minions poking over the top with the fact of Andinster and that crush just allowing to do damage to not only the Titan, but the defense from EUnited that is on its last legs.
There's the blink, Fear No Evil, but the Titan already falling below 75% HP. The Vulcan ultimate out of Khaos doesn't really hit anybody. That's a lot of ultimates, 4 in fact out of EUnited, and SoaR is still healthy.
Well, Benji's not. He's already dead. Vetium's Heartbomb will pick up that kill for them. More than anything, SoaR just waited for EUnited to invest everything on defense, and then with the fire minions coming through, Andy can get a kill onto Khaos, dunk into the fountain, the Titan will fall. SoaR will take us to a game 3.
21-2 in 27 minutes. Really dominant performance from all of SoaR, and I think that's the big thing, because in game 1 for EUnited, it was a dominant performance from Benji. Varizial was there as well, but Benji was the real carry in game 1. That time around for SoaR, it was a team effort. Vetium not near the top of the player damage charts, but he was there as a control hunter, using that Fields of Love to force out purification beads. He was in the right spot, healing his team up as well, and then everyone just played so well on SoaR.
Just like the European finals, the North American finals are the same way now. Best of 3, 1 game, and it's all just 1 game.
All the way. Really, really impressive play from both sides thus far. Really excited to see who's going to go on to face Team Rival in that final, because both these teams are playing at a very high level. It's just about at what time, because EUnited basically stomped game 1. SoaR definitely stomped game 2. Is it going to be a back and forth affair in game 3, or will one team just get the better end?
Well, let's see what the desk has to say. After he's standing by with 2 fantastic analysts.
Well, I'm sitting by, not quite standing. That's your job. Either way, we've got ourselves for game number 2. You know, a lot of times we come down here at the analyst desk and we like to look at all of the numbers, and we like to go very deep, and we like to get very analytical. These are my notes for game number 2. It says, Andinster. Sometimes you just got to stick with the classics. He's the absolute classic hard carry. You stick him on something that can control a game, and that's exactly what he does.
Andy had a beautiful performance on this Scylla, especially just the behind 180 degree
Display.
turning, and it was insane. Like,
the
no
alley-oop.
time at all. It just looks, and then he's like, maybe, no, it's happening 100% every time.
This play right here, I honestly thought, like, I don't know what EUnited can do anymore. Andy's fed on the god. You really don't want to be fed on. Like, he's a good raw, don't get me wrong, but when I see Andy, I'm like, okay, if he has a raw, I'm just worried about the snipe. When I see Scylla, I'm worried about everything.
Look at the way he did that. Now, yeah, he hits the I'm a monster. Hooray, congratulations. But the way that he pulls it out while the meatball's in the air to not only avoid the knockup and get crowd controlled himself, but set himself up for the kill over the wall. That's what makes Andinster. Whether he's in the jungle on the Thor or he's in the mid lane on the Ra or the Scylla, this guy, you give him a little bit of time and he's just going to be the hard carry. The damage numbers speak for themselves. He just looked absolutely insane. Andy, I don't know. I really honestly don't know what to say about this match besides the fact that Andy went off. Look at the kills. 21-2.
But of course, to go off, you need your team backing you, and I think that's exactly what SoaR Gaming did, which is excellent in the sense that, considering how badly they were losing and getting controlled in the previous game, to bounce back like this has got to be such a massive momentum swing, especially since that game probably should have gone the way of EUnited up until that Gold Fury engagement.
Yeah, at around 1 minute and 30, Homie gave first blood, and it's really bad, first of all, to have your only early game god behind, but what made it even worse is Homie had to soak solo or duo because EUnited stole their entire jungle. So not only did he set the jungle behind, but they set the duo lane behind as well.
At 1 minute and 13 seconds, I quoted you as saying game over. And that was because the Awilix died. And honestly, when the Awilix dies early, she's not really able to do what she wants to do.
Yeah, it's pretty much, she's just an early game god. A lot of her damage comes off being to engage and just 2-3 knock someone up, pull them, ult, and if you really can't one-shot by then, you're not too threatening, and giving first blood pretty much always guarantees that happening.
But for some reason, EUnited weren't able to hang on to that and continue on. It went the other way.
I believe Homie's jump actually is the reason the Gold Fury got stolen, which is like 60 damage plus Bluestone.
Well, either way, the damage that the players dealt out was a significant on, honestly, both sides. But if you take a look, there it is. SoaR Gaming, Homiefe, and Andinster significantly above the rest of the crew. I do got to give credit to Vetium. Aggro did shout him out before, saying that he was a big part of what was going on for SoaR Gaming. And right there, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Andy does 5,000 more damage than his counterpart, Khaos.
I cannot believe the amount of damage Homie actually did right there. I thought Andy was going to be top of the charts, like, by far.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I did too. That's just showing that Homie's on the back line, really setting things up. One of the favorite plays, we showed it during the replay. One of my favorite plays was the max range Awilix pull into the tower, which set up Andy into the ultimate, which Andy was using the I'm a monster defensively for the movement speed to get out, but all of a sudden he hears the call. Homie pulls the guy into the tower, slam down comes the ultimate. That was hot, and that was what we saw a number of times. I think that's where a lot of Homiefe's damage comes from.
I'm pretty sure that play only happened as well because Andy got out with a sliver of health,
Yep.
and it actually caused pain. I think it was a little greedy. He walked up, he's like, oh, I can't get this. He threw it away. He turned around, Homie's like, oh, I can get this. Pulls him in. And he launches an ult.
And once the composition got rolling, when you combine that with the movement speed, thanks to Terra ultimate, thanks to Nike passive, everything just came together perfectly for SoaR in these engagements, and there was just nothing that EUnited could do about it. So drafting was pretty much on point, and I think that SoaR executed their composition incredibly well.
That was the biggest. That was one of the biggest differences for me in Game 2 versus Game 1 was multiple win cons. We talked about it before. How last game it was pretty much just all right. If we get the Zeus and the Odin, we win, and if we don't, well, that kind of sucks. There's nothing else to really fall back on. Here in Game number 2, multiple options. You have the I'm a monster. Homiefe can do what he wants by himself, and then you have fineokay providing some help out of the solo lane. A lot of different options for the team to go to. This time they only really needed the Homie and the Andinster, but just in case, the composition did provide them a lot of the stuff to fall back on.
It also limited EUnited's comp actually as well. The reason is because pre-level 12, you don't have Blink as a Hoonbot, so all you can actually do is pretty much jump in ult, and the Awilix just completely stops that. So you're having Hoonbots either 3 teleport, very predictable, or you're gonna just have him running at you and you're just gonna run away, I guess.
You never really want to run in Awilix as a Batz either. It's not exactly the most ideal scenario.
I would not think so. At the end of the day, EUnited, they lose game number 2, so we're heading to a game 3. Do you think it was a pick ban thing or just execution?
I think it was execution.
I think that it's a combination of both for game number 2. First game, I would definitely give it to drafting. This game was execution and the drafts.
So what do you want to see different? What do you need to see different, Taco, in order for this one to go the way of EUnited?
The drafts have to be close yet again. I think that if SoaR want to maintain their composition lead over EUnited, then what they really need to do is keep playing to their strengths, ensure that Homiefe gets the jungler that he can hard carry on, ensure that you don't put your soul laner on something that he can't really go toe-to-toe with in Benji, because you know that Benji's going to play that aggressively. He's going to make those early rotations, and as long as they stay true to themselves, I think that they can find another victory here.
I think that's what it's going to come down to. Teams need to